Merry meet, everyone. Welcome back to Witches of the Moon. I am your Wednesday host, Houston, and this week, week 10, we are talking about our views on being self taught or self study versus having a mentor in the craft. I've actually had a few people that I consider mentors. Um, for the craft, they've taught me some things, and I haven't agreed with them that well, just because my path and theirs were different, and I haven't found a teacher or a mentor yet that allows you to practice your own way. Um, I think a lot of them are more 101 based, which is what I originally started out. And that's kind of how I started out. I had someone teaching me the basics of paganism and Wicca. And then I branched off because I found that she was teaching me her way. And if I didn't do things the way she wanted, or the way that her way taught, then I was wrong, and I didn't like that. But there are mentors out there that aren't like that. I have a mentor for my Reiki, um, my Reiki master. She always told me to explore different things and to do different techniques, and tell her about it. She wanted to know. She wanted to see how I was growing, but it was kind of like a bouncing ideas off of each other type of mentor. I mean, she taught me Reiki and she attuned me to Reiki, but she also wanted me to go further. So she pushed me to go further. And that's what I think is really important in looking for a mentor, is finding that person that, or finding someone who is willing to teach and wants to push you further, not just stop at where they believe. And what they do. They should always have, in my opinion, they should always have things to further study, because I mean, we all know that in the craft we're students and we're studying always. We're always learning something new. So I think that with mentors, they should always, at the end of their training, they should always push you to further heights. And not, well, I'm not gonna go there. But self-taught, a lot of my stuff now, I haven't been in a formal teacher and student setting in a while. So a lot of my stuff beginning was self-taught, um, either by books or by online or watching videos on YouTube, or online research is what I meant. So I think you can go, there is a kind of, words are escaping me this morning. There is kind of a, I'm not going to say bias because that's not what I'm looking for. It's kind of a good thing. I mean, I'm not going to say people who have been mentored in the craft and are a particular part of a coven or whatever, and learn a particular way are better than those who are self-taught, because that's totally not the case, and neither or vice versa. But for me, since I've learned so much of my stuff self-taught, from books, from experiences, from other people. And I don't mean like in a setting, I mean more of like a community type of thing. I don't really consider that as a mentor and student relationship. Um, since I've learned so much that way, and I do believe that it is an amazing and eye-opening thing to be self-taught. Um, but I can understand why people, especially new people to the craft, look for a mentor. They really do want the validation, and that they're doing something, they're doing it right. Um, And after a couple of years in the craft and after a couple of years of study, you know that you don't really need the validation. The validation, you know, of the spell, if they're watching you do a spell and that you want to know if you did it right, the validation of the spell comes with the outcome of what you did. It shows. Um, or in your positive affirmations or whatever. It starts to show because you put in so many years of practice and you built up that kind of repertoire of energy um, around you. Things, things start to happen and things start to show. But like I said, I can understand why people who are newer to the craft want to have a teacher teach them instead of reading it out of a book. Because I do have to say, when I first started, I was in high school and I read out a book. I didn't have the opportunity at the time. I didn't know anybody else who practiced. About a year, or not even a year, later on, after I started studying, I found out a couple of my friends, um, or one of my friends, she grew up in it and she still practices, and that's how. And then we became closer friends, and we still are to this day. She's my sister. Um, but I can say that when I first started, I was nervous. I was scared, just because it was something different. I guess that happens with everything. But then, when I moved to Charleston, they had the groups. They had a group here that was teaching. I knew a lot of the stuff already, but I still went through it just as a refresher course, and I finished out the course. But I did have some tips um, with one of the teachers, just because I'm not a big fan of, if you're going to teach broad paganism, don't just teach it on your way, because you're not teaching broad paganism, you're teaching your path. And I wasn't interested in your path. And the class wasn't about your path, it was about paganism and the multifaceted spiritual world called entitled paganism. So that's kind of how I fell out of that. But ever since then, I've been self taught, learning new things. Um, that's why I have such a gigantic library at the house. So I don't think one is better than the other. I do think if you find the right mentor, they will take you to fantastic places. But I also think that if you push yourself and study on your own and have people around you that are like minded and ask questions of them and bounce questions off of each other and hear their opinion and, go with yours, I think you'll learn a lot faster doing stuff that way. But I'm not going to downgrade someone who wants a mentor or who has a mentor um, in the craft. I'm not here to do that. I think it's fantastic, but I think that everyone's not privy to that. Um, Either that there's no one around them that is available to teach, or that the teacher that is available to teach is costing an arm and a leg, because I have seen some of that, and those are the kind of people you don't really want to teach you. I mean, I understand the arm and the leg means the commitment. The cost means your commitment to the craft, but there's only so much, especially people who are doing this. A lot of us, well, I'll say myself, I couldn't afford that. I'll say it that way. I couldn't afford charging an arm and a leg for a mentor when I'm working full time and I have bills to pay, and things to take care of. I couldn't do that, so I turned to books. It's easy for me. But if you guys have any questions or want me to go further in detail on anything, possibly on my channel, about this topic or any other topic, please let me know in the comment section below. And without further ado, if you, I don't think, I hope you enjoy this video this week, and I hope you enjoy the rest of my hosts and hostess videos this week on this topic, and I will see you guys next Wednesday. Many blessings.